Let's just spam out because we've won the game. Throw it all in the field, baby. Give indestructible to our worthy knight. Hey everybody, welcome back and thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch Hello Good Game. Today we're playing with Kudro's Knights in an Orzhov human knight based aggro build. If you're unfamiliar, Orzhov refers to the color combination of white and black together. Of course, Knights is sub-archetyped and human is an archetype. So we're playing with that form of tribal. We do have anthems in the deck. We have protection from wipes, which is really cool. And then a lot of unique interactions along the way to help us accomplish our overall goal of supreme victory. So if you don't care for the deep dive into the deck tech, the strategies, the synergies, all the cards that we're about to do, you can use the chapter function to skip ahead to the gameplay. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Don't forget to like the video on your way and subscribe to the channel for more content. Today's video is brought to you by MTGA Assistant. This will be the add-on that we use without having to pay anything. It's available for free in the Overwolf link in the description below. You know, you get all your stats, your collection, metagame analysis, and so much more. And this has just been updated to version 2.0. So check that out in the Overwolf link in the description below. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's get into the deep dive of Kudro's Knights. Starting out with our deck list, we have 4 copies of Venerable Knight. This is a 2/1, and when it dies, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on a target knight we control. So that's going to be really fun because not only is it a very cheap early game drop that has relative aggro value, 2 power for 1 is relatively good, and then it has additional value for when it dies, we can power up one of our other creatures because, again, we do have a knight-based deck, so there's a good chance that we're always going to have a knight in play. 4 copies of Foulmire Knight. This is a 1/1 with Death Touch. Again, a very cheap drop that you can play. It has, some form of, I would call, passive removal within the Death Touch. So you can defend with this creature really effectively just to take out any of your opponent's big baddies. And what's even cooler about that is you can take this on the offensive as well and start attacking, because unless your opponent has a 1/1 token to block with it, there's a good chance that they're just going to allow the damage through because they don't want to lose their creature. And they know that this creature is now tapped, so they can attack through without it defending with Death Touch. So pros and cons, you can get in chip damage every turn, but you're not going to be able to defend. Or you can just try to defend and take out one of their creatures, but that will give them the chance to maybe remove it before their attack phase, so on and so forth. We do have Profane Insight, so the card gets even better yet. At instant speed, which is amazing, we always try to play instances as a priority over sorceries just because, you can use it at more times throughout the game. Draw a card, lose a life. The draw within the deck is relatively important. We do have a substantial draw engine a little later on that we're going to cover, but any passive draw that we can get going later on in the game is very good. For example, you may want to play this on turn 1 right away. Just have it enter the battlefield. It's Death Touch. You got your early drop out, your curving out, right? Which is what you want to do. You want to play 1 drop, a 2 drop, a 3 drop, a 4 drop consistently every game. But maybe you draw this on turn 7, right? You've already got 6 mana in play. Well, now you can use 3 of that mana, draw a card, and play this creature for 4, still having leftover mana, maybe to even play that drawn card with. So, very nice early game, very nice late game as well. Moving on to our 2 drops, we've got 4 copies of the Wintermoor Commander. This is a 2-power Death Touch creature, and its toughness is equal to the number of knights that we control. So again, going wide with our knight archetype or sub-archetype, whatever you want to call it, sub-creature type? I don't know, someone will let me know in the comments. And whenever the commander attacks, another target knight that we control will gain indestructible until end of turn. This is just going to keep our things alive, right? We've got important creatures that we don't want to die in the deck, like our worthy knight, which we'll talk about in a second. So, as a priority, you're protecting your most important knight with your commander. And again, if you have 2 of them, they can protect themselves. So you'll have 2 2/2s with Death Touch, which is very, very powerful. Moving on, 4 copies of Dire Tactics at instant speed here as well. And I'm surprised this card doesn't see more play given how powerful it is. An exile target creature at instant speed for 2. Very, very hot. If you don't control a human, you lose life equal to that card's toughness. So, there is a downside there. But again, all of our knights are also humans. So that's totally fine. No harm, no foul. We should never be losing a life. 4 copies of the Blacklance Paragon, a 3/1 with Flash. when it enters the battlefield, another target knight we control will gain Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. So, we can flash this in as a defender, putting both life gain and Death Touch on it. So we're going to gain 3 life in the combat interaction. Plus, we'll remove their creature, and, obviously with the 1 toughness, our Blacklance Paragon will probably die as well. But, really, really cool stuff that we can do here with it. And, also giving something else Death Touch, is not always so bad. This is also an ETB effect, which we are looking to stack as much as possible within the deck. Whenever you cast a Knight spell, create a 1/1 human token within Worthy Knight. This isn't an ETB effect per se, but when other things enter the battlefield, it kind of triggers it like it would be an ETB effect. And ETB stands for Enter the Battlefield, if you're unfamiliar. And, this is one of our primary engines in the deck. Protect this card with your Wintermoor Commander. That will allow you to still be able to attack with it, because typically we wouldn't attack with a Worthy Knight because it is of such high value that we don't want to risk, a block, a flash block, something like this. Moving on, though, we do have 3 copies of the Kabira Takedown and the Plateau. Plateau comes in tapped. Takedown at instant speed for 2. So again, instant speed, very nice. Only costs 2. It's very cheap. That's great within an aggro build. Dealing damage equal to the number of creatures we control to target creature or planeswalker. So this is really good. The tactics will only exile creatures. The takedown can deal damage equal to the number of creatures which we control, which will be plenty. We're going quite wide here, right? And, taking out planeswalkers as well as creatures. So, prioritize it on planeswalkers because it's the only thing we have that will hit them. However, just keep your attack lanes open and slam in with your bulk creatures. Into our 3 drops, we've got 2 copies of the Acclaimed Contender. This is a 3/3 when it enters the battlefield, looking at the top 5 cards of our library if we control another knight, and then revealing a knight or equipment or legendary artifact from among them, putting it into our hand. So basically always just grabbing another knight, which is nice. So, it's a 3/3 plus we replace it, which is very good. And one of the primary things that we'll be looking to draw here is Liliana's Standard Bearer, a 3/1 with Flash. Zombie Knight, one of our only knights that's not human. Take note of that, but again, this irrelevant. When it enters the battlefield, draw X cards, where X is the number of creatures that died under your control this turn. Yep, so this is our primary draw engine. And, I don't know if I'd call it much of an engine as a spectacular passive, because it's not going to be triggering every turn. We can re-trigger it because we have a way to bring the bearer back into play, which is really cool. So it should, through the replayability of the ETB, draw us enough cards to make it worthwhile, and then require us not to have a permanent draw engine within the deck, which, there's only so many great henges. Anyways, 3 copies of General Kudro of Drannith. Now, this is one of the cards that the deck was built around. A human soldier, so it's not a knight. Other humans you control get +1/+1, which is basically the entire deck, other than the 2 zombie knights we have within Foulmire and the Standard Bearer. But again, irrelevant. And then, whenever it or another human enters the battlefield under our control, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. This is actually a sleeper ability within the general. Taking out Croxas, Woe Striders, anything that's going to be replayed from the graveyard against us is very, very good. So that's awesome. We can also pay 2 to sacrifice 2 humans, destroying target creature with power 4 or greater. Typically, we don't want to be destroying our own cards. However, we do have the Worthy Knight, which we talked about, which has token generation. So, we're going to have, at a certain point, an influx of human tokens that we can sacrifice with the general to start picking off our opponent's creatures, which is really nice. 2 copies of the Agadeem's Awakening, sorcery for 3+X. So typically here we're looking to cast it for either 6 or 7, depending if we have a 4-drop in our graveyard. If there's a 4-drop in our graveyard, then we cast for 7. If there's only 3 and under, we cast for 6. At sorcery speed, returning from your grave to the battlefield any number of target creatures that have different converted mana costs of X or less. So we can take a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 3-drop, and a 4-drop, which is pretty cool. Speaking of the 4-drop we want to be taking, it's the Luminous Broodmoth, tying the whole deck together and making it a competitive archetype. I feel a 3/4 with flying, and whenever a creature you control without flying dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with flying. So our tokens from the knight will not come back into play with flying because they are tokens, right? So they just disappear when they get sent to the grave, because they don't get sent to the grave, they just die. That's the only downside here. It's all upside when we get away from that. You know, the Blacklance Paragon re-triggers with an ETB effect, which is, you know, basically irrelevant. Depending, you know, they could be using instant speed removal on you, and then it does become relevant because you're giving your other knights shenanigans. What's really, really good here, though, is the standard bearer. And, you know, when it enters the battlefield, you draw X cards, where X is the number of creatures that died under our control. Obviously, if we have this in play with the Moth, it dies. It's going to trigger on itself, which is really cool, as well as all of the other creatures that died this turn. So, you know, that's great. We can have it trigger organically with Flash, and then the Moth can re-trigger it as well. But when all of our knights die from the Moth, they're going to re-enter play, which is really cool. And I don't think they will actually trigger the Worthy Knight, now that I think of it, because it's cast, and we're not recasting them, we're just returning them. So scratch the fact that I said that. You know, and this is why we get to the bottom of things here and do the deep dive, so we can make sure that all of the misconceptions have been flushed out and everybody's playing the deck as effectively and efficiently as they can. So, you know, the Knights will re-enter play, which is great, but they're not going to trigger the Worthy Knight because they're not being cast as a keyword. So that's a bit of a downside as well with the Moth, I guess. But then again, we do go really wide, like I talked about, and then we have stuff like Emeria's Call for 7, creating 2 4/4 white angel warriors. All of our other creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. This allows us to defend without consequence. It also allows us to attack without consequence, as long as we have enough defenders to stop our opponent's damage. And you know, the 4/4s in the air should help us close out any damage that we missed. The land's awkward: 4 pathways, 5 swamps, 5 plains, and 2 Ardenvales. Ardenvale can create a 1/1 white human for 5. Not bad. That can receive +1/+1 from Drannith, taking it to 2/2. So going really wide, playing the Moth, just attacking, getting our creatures back in the air, drawing cards again with the standard bear, and attacking even more. You know, great times here within Kudro's Knights. You know, trying my best to keep new decks every day. I hope you guys enjoyed this deep dive into this Orzhov Human Knights archetype. I guess there's a few zombies in there as well, so maybe we shouldn't call it humans, but regardless, a great deck. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel to a friend. We're going to hit some Mythic gameplay up now, and we'll catch you with our wrap-up thoughts in a few minutes. Our opponent goes first. You know, if we can pull a 3rd and a 4th land, I'm very happy. Right, this is kind of like an ideal draw hand almost. We're playing today with MTGA Assistant. Check that out for sure. Available for free in the Overwolf link in the description below. You know, we get to see our deck. We get to see our opponent's deck if we wanted as well. It's really good, especially if you're playing new decks lots, and then you can kind of try to engineer those turns, how you want them to take place, and, you know, think ahead because you know what your options are, and, you know, the chances of those things actually coming to fruition, right? So really cool stuff within the MTGA Assistant, available for free to everybody on Windows within the Overwolf link in the description below. Our opponent is just locking in here. Down to 4. That's a little bit aggressive. What is going to happen to us here? It's all about the turn 4 henge, baby. Right, I'm worried, right? I am worried. Okay, they're playing slow, and it is definitely more Gruul, right? It's like henge or cleave. Which one do you have to face up against, right? The 2 flavors of Gruul. Both are equally terrible. Hopefully there's no giants. You know, unlike the last match where we seen, what, 3 or 4 of them all in a row? Like, oh! That was aggressive. There is still one. They always have it. They always have it. It's probably why they mulligan down to 4. Oh, no, okay, Elemental. Good for us. Good for us. And we got that fourth land. It is a plane, so we're ready to kind of do our best. We can't block. Let's play our contender. Make a token, take the draw. All of these are very good. I'm going to take another Worthy Knight. Just be greedy with the engines. We can also take our attack for 2, tying the game up at 18 apiece. Did they drop their third land? Right? They're still playing effectively. They've not missed anything. Utilizing what cards they have very effectively. Stop it. Alright. I think we still go in with Moth. And then the contender can swing in for 3, down to 15. We pull ahead. Hopefully we can pull our 5th land, play Worthy Knight, hold up our standard bearer. So when things go your way, turn by turn, very good. And we even encountered removal, right? We lost our Worthy Knight, but for things to go perfectly is asking too much. You just want things to go well, right? Perfectly, we'd still have that Worthy Knight in play, but there's always going to be some form of disruption somewhere. I don't really want to block. I'll probably just take the damage here. Oh. I will block because they've spent their mana, which means they just won't attack. We don't want them to be able to henge, so let's just take that out immediately. And then we get our second Worthy Knight in again. And we can trade with all of those things. So let's go in. 18 life. I think we can kind of switch from trying to just like do that grind, like what's happening. I'd say we've got the whole shot now. We're pulling ahead, and we can put them on a timer with our damage. Ooze is okay. I mean, that's fine. Like I said, it's a bit of damage, but I'm not worried about it. That puts us to 5, and they are on the clock. So I think we should just go for it. I mean, kind of abandoning our bearer, but that's fine. No harm, no foul, in my opinion. Making lots of humans. The humans can be sacked with the general if we want. And they have to block. Right, doing our best just to stop Embercleaves, to stop the Great Henge, which means dealing with their big creatures as soon as they hit the field. Do not let them have a 5/5 on turn 4. That's the rule against Gruul. Alright, that was a token, so it can't re-enter. We have a Death Touch Defender. There's no wipes, so we don't really prioritize Liliana's standard bearer. If there were field wipes like Shatter, like Storm's Wrath, or... yeah, Storm's Wrath, then we would prioritize it, but Gruul doesn't have that. Let's just spam out because we've won the game. Throw it all in the field, baby. Give indestructible to our worthy knight. Not so bad, and you know, demonstrating this deck very effectively in the matches that we played today. Go really wide, get that moth in play so you have wipe protection, and just basically pray that they're not running Extinction Event. And you know, play as many odd costs as possible because the event's going to try to hit the token generation and the moth all at once, right? So they got Worthy Knight, they get all of the tokens from it, and they get the moth. So really try to flood the field with 3 drops if you're worried about Extinction Event. All right, our opponent goes first here. Our hand doesn't look great, but could be worse. Pulling a 1-drop would be great. Ooh. Pick up 3rd land. Mono red that doesn't have a 1-drop? Seems odd. It's got to be Gruul. Yeah. Always with the Gruul. I mean, the Death Touch and removal will come in quite nice. They're just going to stomp this, though. They always have Stomp, too. I'd prefer them to be greedy and try just to henge on turn 4, but, you know, maybe they just play it safe and do the removal, of course. We can double drop. We had to take care of their draw engine. Only losing 1 life, I guess, isn't the worst. So this is fine, right? We're still going to keep them away from the henge. Doing this now at sorcery speed, even though it's an instant, just so they can't, you know, get that henge in at a reduced cost. Another stomp? You would. Ridiculous. Oh my god. Let's moth it out. There's no way there's 2 more Bone Crushers in hand. The thing is, I don't want to play the other creatures before the moth in case there is more removal, because then we don't get anything out of the moth. Oh my gosh. No blocks for taking that on the chin. The takedown will be really nice here. It's annoying, and I hate it. Oh, there is removal. What a jerk. As long as there's not another giant to remove our commander before the takedown resolves. So annoying. And they did have it? Why didn't they do it first? Hopefully there's another questing beast. I want to get rid of that last hand and just deal with these dumb giants. Okay, Love Shark Beast is good. Nice. That's gonna be good. We should be able to get in here for free. Really? They just want to trade. That seems awkward. That was a 5-5, baby. Nice. That's so shitty. Pardon my language. We need the draw from the knight in a big way. Because they're going to be drawing every turn. Once, maybe twice. If they play their 4th Bone Crusher Giant, I'm going to rage. 4 Bone Crushers in your top, like, 15. Okay. They probably have a... Okay. I was thinking maybe a cleave, but they'll take the draw. They should have drawn before Fire Prophecy, because then they could have taken that draw, put it into the bottom. Okay. Flash in a Paragon. They know we've got it. We get a Moth back. Can't believe they're running Primal Might. Going head to head against some of the top decks, some of the top players with new decks every single day. It is what it is, right? They can't all be 100% win rates. These monstrous matches do exist. That hurts. We should take the draw engine out. Or they know we've got the Paragon, so they won't do it. They're thinking about it. I want that Innkeeper, though. Give me your draw engine. Oh, nice. I don't know if we'll take that, though, or not. We gain some life back. So we can Blacklance Paragon in. Flash block, gain 3 life, plus still have a Paragon. Shit. If they have a Primal Might... Okay, just Love Struck Beast. Alright, now we just need chump blockers, baby. Deep breaths. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We have Death Touch, and the Knight will put a counter on the Paragon. Interesting. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sucks. It sucks. Hopefully there's no haste. We're really pushing it here. We're really pushing it. Come on, creature. It's not a knight, but it's not bad. We need knights to make tokens. We need knights to make tokens. Oh my gosh. We need, preferably, just worthy knights stacking up on top of each other. They've got removal of some sort. Or haste. Nice. And the land drop came. I guess we can block all but the token. It's unpleasant. I'll tell you that much. It is not good. Man, this is messed up. Nice. This is bad. I mean, maybe they just attack and we draw a bunch. We go now because it can still defend and re-enter the battlefield with the Moth. That's not good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hopefully there's no haste. And our turn. Maybe we can pick up a Emeria's Call. I don't know if that helps us at all. Okay, here it goes. Looks like you killed that. You killed that. Oh gosh. So we're taking 4 damage here. Oh, we can't block that. That's no attacks into our chin. That's everything blocked. Is there an Ember Cleave right there? Probably. Let's see how this plays out. If there's no cleave, this is something very special. If there is, I'm a little worried. Nice. We tried. We're so close. So close. We're up first. I mean, the Venerable Knights are nice, but what else will come of this hand? It's gonna be hard to say. I mean, blood out pretty quickly. How much do you guys miss Venerated Loxodon? I remember that deck was just crazy. We need a swamp really bad. Our first stomp. Ooh, gets exiled so it doesn't die. There it is. Let's still push in. That means we can flash the Paragon in. Unless they stomp us again, but I doubt it. Or Scorching Dragonfire. Ugh. Ah! Really? That's our turn, I guess. I'll take the draw. I'm fine with that. Not great, but not bad. Oh, replacements. Replacements. Let's try to play this safe. I imagine they're going to use more removal. No. So that allows us to go wide. We're at 5, so we're getting closer to 7. Let's pass our turn. Another Lovestruck Beast coming down. That's great. That's just great. I'll double block. I'm not too worried about that. Interesting. Return, I guess. A little late for the Worthy Knight, but we're playing this slow, so we're vulnerable here, right? We're not going to get a big draw if they do something crazy, but if we can hold off and then just, you know, play it safe with this other standard bearer, it could be okay. So no cleave, but 2 Lovestruck Beasts. Let's see what we get now. Could be a land that we might want to play. Oh my gosh. We have to go for it. Just being obnoxious here. If we can get a draw on all this jazz, that would be so cool. Again, these 2 beasts are just holding up the fort though. So we're gonna have to go wide, play a General Kudro. Alright, so that's the land that can potentially play the Henge now. may just trade with it. I'm okay with that. Start pushing up our contender. The exile is groovy. We might want to sit on that. No attacks, and turn. Well, that's annoying. Great hand, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna take that out. Right, it's a secondary draw engine. Not really into that. Nice. I think we just go for it. We could kill a Lovestruck Beast if we want. Oh, that uses our mana though. But that's fine. I forgot. I thought it was just a tap. That's on me. That actually really sucks. It's okay though. We needed the draw from that. Got the 2. That's not bad. We're still quite wide. They only have 6 mana, potentially 7. And they can attack. So it's like a free turn unless there's haste. Alright, chump blocker plus draw engine. Can't block. Or can it block? Can't be blocked is the thing. Oh, even more removal. So they're ready to block us. They can't attack. We get 1 damage through. We kill the Innkeeper and the Elemental. Take a triple draw. That's so lame. Let's kill a beast. Ardenvale in play. It's a lot of land. So we're still in a bad spot. Nice. The hand just gross. Like, I don't even know how to beat that. And I think we made the wrong play by killing a beast instead of drawing a massive hand. It's hard to say. I think we threw this match. We need another general. Taking whatever draws we can get. Oh my gosh. Oops. Yeah, I think we tossed this match. by not just taking the draw earlier. For having so few land in the deck, we certainly did draw a few of them. Oh yeah, Gargaroth. We're gonna need to exile that. They -2 on that as well. Good game. I'll accept that as defeat. You know, it wasn't the worst. All right, you guys, wrap up thoughts. There's something here. It's really close. I think it's just going to come down to balancing a couple things, right? It's not bad. I don't think it's a tier 1. Tier 2 maybe at best. Mothra makes aggro decks very playable, right? You can play in, lose your creatures, and then gain all of that value back, that's what really makes this deck good. You know, going wide with Worthy Knight is generally good. The Anthem with all the humans is very good, and the draw with the Bear, if there's a wipe, is amazing. But without the Moth, I don't think this deck would be nearly as competitive. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I do read all the comments, of course, even if I don't reply to them. And again, thank you for your time and attention. If you're looking for even more content, you could become a YouTube member for exclusive content, which is pretty cool. So, you know, new videos every week for you guys. Check them out. And again, thank you for your time and attention, and we'll catch you in the next video.